Welcome to Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where Prisoners was just a prequel to Les Mis, where they really embrace singing. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and today we're talking about the new, kind of indie-ish film, I guess, Prisoners.
And on Thursday, we're going to be giving our review of the new Fox show, Sleepy Hollow.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter, at Epic Geek Out. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Epic Geek Out, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into a review of Prisoners. So Prisoners stars Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Terrence Howard, Viola Davis. There's a really good cast. Oh, Paul Dano's in it as well. A really good cast surrounding it. And it's kind of it is definitely a bleak story about these two girls who get kidnapped. It's a lengthy movie at 2 hours and 30 or so minutes.
Yep.
Kind of felt... definitely a slow burn kind of movie. A lot of slow, steady shots. Let people walk in, out of scenes. Not the feel-good summer hits that I guess we've been used to, now coming off kind of the summer season. So, Chad, what did you think of Prisoners?
Yeah, this is a dense movie. I think there's things that I liked and there's things I didn't like. I think, what I liked is, you see the trailer and it's kind of one of those trailers where you're like, man, they really revealed a lot of that movie. But really a lot of the stuff in the trailer is covered in the first 30 minutes. And then after that, there's a lot more story to be told.
There's 2 hours worth of story to be told.
So it wasn't really like I ever felt like, oh, I saw that scene in the trailer, even though there were a couple of those scenes. I don't think anything was really given away by that, which is nice, because this is kind of like two movies, which is weird. So you have like the mystery, like whodunit, which I was really interested in that movie. And then about halfway through, the pace of that, which was, I thought, really riveting, and I was really interested in what's going on, kind of takes a little detour to kind of look at the story of Hugh Jackman, and this is in the trailer, so I don't think it's a spoiler, but if you don't want to know anything, don't listen to this, obviously, but when he actually kidnaps the guy that they think sold the kids. And then that story of him wrestling with those kind of implications of, what are you willing to do for your kids if they're stolen. And I think that's kind of a cool conceit, because people have had this conversation like, oh, if that was my daughter, I would kill this guy, or if that was someone from my family, I would go after this guy. So that was a cool
and I think that is what the movie is about. That is what the movie is about. The other was, them getting kidnapped is obviously the way to get to that, but the movie is about what people do when they're pushed to the limits. Right. And in every sense, you see each person in the movie, there's, two sets of parents. You see each of them cope with it a different way. Mm-hmm. You see, not so much the kids dealing with it, which I think would have been better if they showed the brother and other sister.
I agree. I think that that's kind of what they were going for, but I don't think that it was strong enough for that part of the movie. So that's why I was more interested in the kind of mystery part of it. Because, if they were going for that and it was just that, and a lot of that other stuff was out of the way, I think it could have been a really great film. But that's when it kind of there's so many other elements at play here, including, the mystery, and then like an even crazier mystery with like a maze thing, which was cool, but it's just like so much.
I don't think that paid off at all.
No, it didn't. They don't really explain it. Yeah. And it was pretty much the trailer was showing that maze. Mm-hmm. And like...
Which kind of made me feel like more of... It's like a Zodiac. Like, I was expecting more of...
a serial type thing to it.
Which it had some elements, but...
And a lot of the stuff was very obvious. So, like, a lot of the payoffs at the end, like, you saw earlier, like, there's a piece of jewelry that someone's wearing. It's like, I saw it in the scene where he was wearing it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And, like, you could piece together enough of it. I didn't see one of the twists at the end, but other than that, I think it really didn't pay off in terms of, like, the mystery of it. So that's where it was kind of, like, a mixed bag for me, just because I did really... like the story. It was shot well. Acting was terrific. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal actually did a really good standout performance in this. And Hugh Jackman obviously did a really good capturing that character, because that's a really tough kind of visceral type character. But anything beyond that, I was just kind of like let down with a lot of the other elements, because I think they tried to do too much. So I think it's definitely worth a watch. Maybe not rush out and see, though.
Yeah, I don't think this is a movie that you really have to go out in the theaters to see. I am happy that I saw it, though. It does kind of leave you feeling hollow inside. It's definitely a slow burn movie. It's a character piece. It's it really jumps into it really quickly. Like it does. It's a long movie, but it's that time block that it has is really filled with suspense, and though, the ending, I'm not going to say anything about it, though it did, there were audible gasps in the theater, of disappointment with the ending.
It didn't need that, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it needed to end kind of the way it did, or there were just some pieces that I felt that were added to this movie, some religious aspects that were touched on that could have been a great, this isn't based on a true story or anything, so they could have made it a little more ridiculous. Not ridiculous, but have more of that aspect on it to explain some more of the things that weren't explained, opposed to just kind of throwing them in there for, a quick, this is why, this was happening. Right. I'm trying to be vague there on purpose. But, the performances throughout were good. I liked the way that it was shot. A lot of times there were, a distorted feel to the camera. There's this one driving scene where it's point of view, and it really showed, it got across the hectic nature of that scene, I thought, really well. Also, during some of the just the police detective interviews, there was, it was done out. The interview was taking place in a deli, but the camera was placed outside and the glass was kind of tinted.
That was happening a lot, especially with the rain. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool because
there must be a really exactly.
You're seeing the outside and
so there's definitely levels of a lot of different prisoners in this movie, and but I did like the way that it was shot and the acting, so that's enough for me to recommend it, though it could have been, I think, so much better.
Oh yeah.
But it is nice though that we are getting a movie that isn't based off of, I don't think this is based off of a book or anything, or that it's not a sequel, or it's not, and it's original piece, and it's letting actors be actors for change and not play a character that they played before. So it was nice to see everyone in a new role, and I think playing it well. So
yeah, I think this would have made a really good AMC series. This, if The Killing was this, I think that could be really awesome, because then it'll allow for a lot of that other stuff to kind of be developed more, because like you're saying, it was definitely thrown in with the religious stuff, and
I want to touch on again,
been, so much cooler.
There were, each family had two kids, the two little girls, and then Hugh Jackman also had a son, and then the other family also had a daughter. They were in it, but to show what, I feel like every other person got time to show what they were going through, but they really didn't get their really big moments in the movie. Nah. And to lose a sibling must, be incredibly hard. And so I think that would have been nice if they touched on their story a little more.
Especially because they set it up in the beginning as the father-son relationship right off the bat, and then he's pretty much dropped for the entire movie. So I think mixed bag, but definitely on the positive side of seeing it. There's a lot of things to like here. So I would see it, but don't rush out. Maybe wait for it to come out on video. It's definitely a little bit of a heart.
Yeah, it leaves you hollow. It's that time of the episode where we like to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
I might have mentioned this before, but it's officially out now. iOS 7 has
You
come
stole
out.
my thanks.
Oh,
you
no,
jerk.
Sorry.
Well, let's just talk about it. Let's do a quick little mini review of iOS 7 and what we think. Chad's had it for a little bit. You have the developer.
Yeah, I had the beta for a while, so there were some bugs that, they're fixed now. But so I kind of was with it in infancy and seeing some of that stuff, but it was definitely... a lot of good stuff, too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I had, I think a lot of people had problems downloading it the first day. I was kind of excited because I saw, what it kind of looked like, the interface, and I was excited to get it. So, had trouble downloading it, had some apps on my iPad that weren't up to date, couldn't use, which was kind of annoying. But now that I have it, I really enjoy the accessibility, and you were saying this of the settings, to turn on Bluetooth on and off,
the command center or something.
Yeah, and then not have the separate page for the search, just the pull down, I think is really great. Siri has seemed to be a little more reactive and whatnot. I switched it over to the male voice to see what it sounded like. That is just creepy, and switched it right back. So I'm a fan of it. I know a lot of people have some complaints. I got to see the new 5S. With the fingerprint recognition, and I had the person try it 8 times to see if it kept recognizing his thumbprint, and it did, and I thought that was really awesome, and he had a great trade-in program through Verizon, which I have AT&T, so...
Yeah, I think AT&T might have something.
But but,
Yeah,
so we enjoyed it. So you got our thanks for iOS 7.
Yeah, so we're going to be back next episode talking about the new show on Fox, I believe.
Sleepy Hollow.
So make sure you check back for that. But thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.